got about 12 years of life left in it before it needs like major repairs or needs replacement, right?
So by 1990?
Yes.
Correct.
Because this part of the Delaware River is tidal, so you got tidal forces acting on it, you know, a couple times a day, each day, right? You got like, you know, you got like normal deterioration from just, you know, wooden piles soaked in water for 100 years, you know, all this stuff. It got hit by a barge pretty hard sometime in the 1950s. And it's old, right? But despite this, you know, plans go forward to turn this thing into a nightclub, right? Because now this is what it looks like today. And you see we have I-95 here, right?
And the dumbest apartment building in Philly, the residences at the
I was about to say, it's even got the title, like, the blank at blank.
It's supposed to look like a boat, right?
Yeah, I see that.
And it is near absolutely fucking nothing. You could, like, maybe walk to South Street, but it would be a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah, I love to cross, like, 8 lanes of traffic.
Yes.
To get to a freeway. Yeah, cool.
Freeway overpass.
Right.
Yeah, no, it looks great. It looks great, and I understand why people pay millions of dollars for those fucking condos. Yes, Roz, I'm sorry.
You have the wrong mindset here.
Oh, do I?
You need to put yourself not in the mindset of a sane person, right?
Way ahead of your bud.
You need to put yourself right now in the mindset of a South Jersey nightclub operator.
I don't want to do that to myself.
All right. You want to open a waterfront nightclub. You want to do it on Pier 34. Why do you want to do that? It's a great location because you can drive in from Jersey, come down 95, get off the highway, get right into the parking lot, right? Then you can slam like, I don't know, 7 martinis.
16 beers, yes.
16 beers, right? And then you can pay, and then you can drive drunk home real easy, right?
Back to Jersey. Yeah, you could go.
Yeah.
You could go to your shitty Philly suburb and talk about how much you love the Birds and how much you love the Sixers. But in fact, you never go to Sixers games because you're a fucking racist and you're scared of the black people there. And you can talk about how all Pennsylvania taxes are so fucking bad. And here in People's Republic of New Jersey, I still got my rights. So you could go down for shitty Sunday gravy at your cousin Vinny's fucking god-awful duplex somewhere in Hamilton and just bitch and moan about WIP and they're not putting good programming on and how the fucking Phillies are never going to World Series because Bryce Harper's too fucking ungrateful. And then you can, I don't know, drug drive right to your kid's fucking school and end your miserable fucking pathetic life because you weren't good enough to live in Morristown.
No, but he also mentioned another advantage if you're a South Jersey nightclub owner is that because 95 is here, of course, that sort of blocks your nightclub off from being accessed by, you know, those people, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not a fucking accident, bro.
I know, right? So it's also very difficult to get here. You know, very difficult to get here on foot or by public transit.
Unless you live at the residences at Dockside, then you can probably walk that.
Well, this is one of the shitty things that actually, this is just another rant because I'm taking over this podcast. There is, not in frame, I don't think, but there's a bar in Philly called Morgan's Pier, which is Roz's least favorite bar in the world, as far as I can tell.
Up there. Yeah, it's not very good.
It's loud. It's just because we never learned our lessons from the first fucking time we built a bar on a pier. And it is, like, it's so fucking funny, because it's just the only way to get there is that you can either take the 4th...
Police abolition, right? Because if you're like, man, if there are people like this who are so transparently bad and who need to like be punished in some way, well, what are you gonna do if you just have no police and no courts? And it turns out the answer is pretty much the same thing, right? Like, the city loses out on 1,000 hours of picking up garbage.
I feel like an angry mob could have handled this probably a little bit better.
Yeah.
So the civil lawsuits, on the other hand, eventually came out to $29.5 million compensation that came from Asbel Carentney and also billionaire Dorrance Hamilton, who actually owned the damn thing and whose company made the decision to cheap out on the repairs. Worth noting that Dorrance was the sole director and stockholder in HMS Ventures.
Awesome. So once again, $29.5 million divided between 3 people who died and like 40-something injured.
3/4 of it went to the estates of the 3 women who died, and then the rest was divided up amongst the injured. I think the injuries were mostly like hypothermia and bullshit. A few people got like serious lacerations, but
yeah. I almost drowned. Then 7 years later, I get a check in the mail for like an Xbox.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it came out in the wash after this through the lawsuit that $500,000 in repairs had been done in the 90s. They were wholly inadequate. It was a band-aid solution. What engineers had recommended be done was a $1.2 million repair that would have involved completely replacing 600 of the 2,800 wooden pilings, right? And again, Dorrance Hamilton is a billionaire canned soup heiress, right? Spending $1.2 million for her is like if one of us bought a cheeseburger, right?
Yeah. That's the money that you don't even notice because your money makes that much money back, like, instantly.
Another thing is, according to this problem had been evident before, right? One article said police also claimed seized documents showed that a carpet company had in the past 3 years written to Carentney explaining problems with his carpets were due to shifting of the floors resting on top of the pier and not problems with the carpets themselves.
This dumb piece of shit is like, man, this carpet's defective. I can see the sea through it.
My dad once put a card for $12 where you can see the road through the floor.